What's up everybody, it's Minta. So today we are going to be doing a Halloween, what am I doing with my hands? So today we are going to be doing a Halloween makeup tutorial. So I've seen a lot of tutorials of people doing, you know, gory makeup, but they all use like liquid latex and like face paint and all of this special stuff that you would have to like go and get specifically just for doing special effects makeup. So a while back I went to a theater workshop and we learned how to do really cool gory stage makeup with just everyday makeup stuff, so that is what I'm going to be teaching you today. I'm gonna put my hair up so I don't get it in everything. Excuse my slightly broken out face at the moment. Not wearing any makeup because I'm about to put some on. Just gonna zoom in a little bit. You can see more of my zombie-like face. Don't worry, we're gonna make it more zombie-like. First thing I'm going to use is just a bit of foundation. This is because we're going to be using some very pigmented things on our skin, and a lot of them are not very high quality, which I'll explain later. So you don't want them to stain your skin, and foundation can be a nice kind of barrier between staining products and your skin. My beauty blender's not wet, oh well. This is just slightly the wrong color for my skin tone. I'm really pale, and this is just a little bit darker than I probably should be going, but it's on now. I forgot to say, this is Neutrogen Healthy Skin in the shade Classic Ivory, which is still too dark for me, of course, because I'm a ghost. Now I'm going to take my BareMinerals BareSkin Concealer in the shade, I don't know. Okay, that's weird, it doesn't say the shade. Whatever it is, it's the lightest one they have. So I'm currently just applying my foundation and concealer the way that I normally would. Yeah, so we're starting this tutorial off like something normal, but don't worry, it's gonna get weird soon. I'm going to take my BareMinerals Powder Compact in the shade Fair. Alright, now we get into the fun stuff. So this is a really good trick if you don't have liquid latex. You can just use lash glue, which is very inexpensive. You can find it pretty much at any drugstore. And just take a little bit. Okay, where should I do a wound? Let's just do one like right here. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna put it directly on the skin. Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot. You can use your finger. Just move it around into the shape you want it. It's fine if it's got jagged edges, because generally if you have a gaping wound in your skin, it doesn't have perfect sides. Do you like my nails? Watch my last video. Alright. But let's do a couple. Let's do one on my forehead. Why not? What if I did one like... Okay, I got a plan. Yes. Don't get it in your eyebrows. It's not a good idea. It doesn't end well for anybody. I say as I get it really close to my eyebrows. Okay, let's hope that ends fine. We'll see. So now, we wait for it to dry a bit. Not completely, just until it's like tacky. So if you touch it and it still feels wet, you are not ready to move on to the next step. And make sure your layers of eyelash glue aren't too thick, because then it won't like all dry at the same time, because you know the edges will be thinner than like the inside, and I kind of have that going on in this one where the edges, I don't know if you can tell, but have kind of turned clear, which means they're dry already, but the inside, which is where I want to be working, is still completely wet. So this one should probably dry all around the same time. And we play the waiting game. I'll be right back. While you're waiting, you can follow me on social media. The links are below. Okay, so now that it's mostly dry, well, not mostly, but it's partly dry and it's still kind of tacky, you're gonna take your finger and pull it and drag it and mess it up. So if you can see this, it kind of looks like peeling skin, which is what we want it to look like. So yeah, it's not as perfectly accurate as liquid latex is. You know, obviously liquid latex is made for doing stuff like this. Oh, my mirror is making stuff shine back on me. Liquid latex is made for doing stuff like this. Eyelash glue is not, so obviously it's not as perfectly suited for the job, but it works pretty well if you're just a regular person who's not doing this all the time, and if you're just doing it like for Halloween or for theater stuff or whatever. I'm gonna try and be a bit more precise on this one, so I'm really gonna go in and actually use my fingernails instead of just the bottom of my finger, because I really want it to look like a cut. So I want to kind of get ridges of what looks like pulled up skin around the sides, more than on this one where I have kind of like just a bunch of pulled skin everywhere. I really want like ridges, so it looks like a cut. So this is a lot harder to do on loose skin like around your eye and on your eyelid, because when you try and pull the eyelash glue, you end up pulling your skin a lot too. So if you are a beginner, I would suggest doing it somewhere like on your cheekbone or your forehead, not your eyelid. Okay, so now that I have my little skin peelies where I want them, wow, that's really weird out of context. I'm going to take a bad liquid lipstick. Yes, you do need to use a liquid lipstick that does not work well. You want one that smudges, that does not set, and the one that I'm using is supposed to be matte, but it's not, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's matte or shiny. It just needs to be not good. So I'm using Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color. Nothing against Revlon. They have plenty of good products. This lipstick in particular is not one of them. But I do actually use it all the time because I like randomly doing wounds, and it's good for that. So you are going to put this in the area where you want it to look like open flesh. This is kind of a gross explanation, but where you want it to look like your skin has been ripped open is where you should apply the lipstick. Like so. And I know it looks really intense right now. I am aware. We're gonna get somewhere. going to take a tissue and you're going to dab it and you're gonna kind of smudge the lipstick. Don't be afraid to get the lipstick around where you applied it. Kind of blend it out. That will give it a nice kind of bruised or inflamed effect. You know, like a wound, even if you cut something open, it's not just like a straight line exactly where it was cut open. There's inflammation and bruising around it. So you want to pat that around to give it that effect. That is all we're doing with lipstick for the moment. It will be back soon. Now we are going to use an eyeshadow palette so you can see what colors do I use the most. This is from e.l.f. I got it like years ago. I don't know what palette it is. It just says e.l.f. eyeshadow. I don't know. One thing that's very important when you're doing stage makeup or fake wounds is you always want to use matte shadows. If you use a shadow that's shimmery, it won't look natural because obviously you don't have shimmer in your face or your blood. So first I'm going to go into this pink shade. See, you can already tell which shades I'm going to use because this is the palette that I use for stage makeup. I'm obviously going to use this pink color and this dark purple. Grab the pink and I'm just gonna pat it on. This is good for adding even more of a look of inflammation around, and it's a lot easier to blend out more carefully. I'm going to take this dark purple and I'm going to go into the middle of the wound and apply it quite generously but carefully. You really want to apply this where it looks like it would be underneath your skin, if that makes sense. The pink is supposed to look like the top of your skin where it's inflamed. Where the purple is, this is to give it depth, to make it look like there is a hole in my face. Okay, I know this looks crazy right now. This is not what an actual wound looks like. We're getting there, I promise. I'm going to very lightly take this even darker purple and carefully apply it just very in the center. It's fine, you can kind of like dot it on. Another thing that's important to do when you're working over top of a liquid lipstick and on top of eyelash glue is you're not going to be brushing. You're going to be more dabbing things on or dotting it on. You're not doing any brushing and swiping because that would mess up everything that's underneath it. So you're just dabbing. Dab, 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 make your face look dead. Now, going to take our lipstick again. This time it will be more as blood instead of as the underlying flesh. So make sure you really incorporate it where you want it to look like there's blood there. And this is going to be very well seen, so be a bit more careful and precise where you're putting it. Again, make sure you're dabbing, not swiping. Now that is pretty intense, so we are going to take a tissue again, and instead of doing it firmly and moving it around like we were before, we're just going to very lightly take off just a bit of the pigment. So I would not reuse a part of the tissue Once you have lipstick on that part of the tissue, fold it over to a clean part and get it on. For those of you who don't have fake blood, because most people don't, I'm going to take a very red lip gloss. This is also from Revlon. I actually really like this as a lip gloss too. This is Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Gloss in Fatal Apple. Ooh, how appropriate. It's fatal and death, I don't know. You're gonna again dab this on. It'll make it look shiny and wet, like with blood. And if you want, you can get a bunch on there and try to make a kind of blood drip. This is a bit more difficult to do with lip gloss, obviously, than it would be with real fake blood, because lip gloss is not meant to drip. Alright, and that is my big, giant, festering wound. All done with everyday makeup products. Now, let's go to the cut.
So unfortunately my camera stopped recording at this point. I finished up the cut using the same technique as I used for the wound on my cheek, and I did some bruising around my eye using the same pink, purple, and dark purple eyeshadow colors as I had used on the wounds. And I also ended up putting that lipstick that I used actually on my mouth, and by the way, it smudges a whole lot and it kind of stained my lips. Wouldn't recommend as an actual lipstick. But this is the completed look. Make sure you check out my last video where I did some cool Halloween nail art. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!